In a world where X and Y tables exist without equations, 4 girls must race to solve the missing equations in order to save the universe. First, you have to determine what type of table you're dealing with: quadratic, linear, cubic, or exponential. You know you're dealing with quadratic if you have to find the difference of the y values in order to find a pattern between each value. You know you're dealing with linear if you just have to find the difference of each y value to find a pattern. You know you're dealing with cubic if you have to go out to the third difference in the y value to find a pattern. Finally, you know you're dealing with exponential if you have to divide the y values by one another in order to find a pattern between each value. Oh no! I have this table, but no equation. Whatever shall I do? Ah! Well, I know my table is quadratic, so it must fit into this equation. All I have to do is solve for the variables and plug them back into the equation. Woo-woo! Let's start with C, because C is cool. C is equal to the y-intercept, so all you have to do is find where x equals 0 on your table and figure out what y is. And that's your C value. On my table, C is equal to 15, so my y-intercept is 15. How cool is that? Now all I do is plug 15 in for C in my original quadratic equation. How cool is that? Woohoo! Now I'm going to find my A value because A is awesome. I'll do this by finding the difference of the difference between the y values when x is increasing in a scale of 1. Once I get a consistent scale of 6, for this problem, I divide that by 2 because it's equal to 2a to get my value. My value is 3. That means A is equal to 3. Now I plug 3 back into my quadratic equation for A. Yay! Next, I'm going to subtract my 3x squared away to make the equation linear. This will help me find my last value, B. Wow! The B value is equal to the difference between y minus ax squared when solved for with every value of x that the table gives, plugged in for x. Woo-wee! This process sure does take forever. All was worth it in the end because I found my B value of 4. Now, all I have to do is plug 4 in for B in my original equation. Yay! Now I have my final equation. It ends up being 3x squared plus 4x plus 15. Yay! Next is a cubic equation. Cubics have a similar way of solving as quadratic, except you have to go out to the third difference to solve for A. If you see, there is a 3 attached to the ax squared, so it's ax cubed. If you see here, I use my x and y table to go out to the third difference. When I get there, I get the value of 30. Then I divide 30 by 6, because that's what you do with cubics. And I got 5. This means a equals 5. I plug that 5 back into my original equation. Now I try to find my c value. This is just the y-intercept when x equals 0. Here on my table, it equals 5. This means c equals positive 5. Yay! Now, all I have to do is find my b value. I do this by plugging in the 5x cubed with the x values and subtracting them from the y values. Then I took the difference of those values and got 5. This means b equals positive 5. My final equation will end up being 5x cubed, 5x plus 5. Yay! Woohoo! All done cubic! Now that I'm done with cubic, I'm on to exponential. Exponential equations can be written as y equals a times b to the x. X is the power. One little hack with exponentials is that they typically range from low decimals to high big numbers. This isn't always the case though, so always check. The a value of this equation is equal to the y-intercept, which is what y is equal to when x equals 0. In my table, that's 7, so a is equal to 7. Next, to find the b value, you have to divide different y values by one another from bottom to top. I did this twice to get 1/3. This means b is equal to 1/3. After all this hard work, I can find my equation. My equation is y is equal to 7 times 1/3 to the power of x. Woot woot! All done with exponential. Lastly is linear. Linear is by far the most simple equation. The equation for linear is y is equal to ax plus b. To find my a value, all I do is find the differences between my y values. I get negative 15. This means a is equal to negative 15. To find my b value, I just find the y-intercept, which is what y equals when x equals 0. For this table, y equals 3. This means b equals positive 3. Finally, I put the variables in and I get y is equal to negative 15x plus 3. This is my linear equation.